Since the last century, concrete has been one of the most widely used materials in the construction industry worldwide. The exponential growth of the population has been possible thanks to the ease with which this material is used for the construction of buildings, homes, and multiple infrastructures useful to society. However, there is a great deal of waste when building with this material. It's estimated that between 40 and 50% of the world's total waste comes from the construction and demolition buildings. Few governments are able to manage this waste properly and manage to reuse much of it. Developing countries, where construction activities are more intense, tend to dump waste outdoors, which greatly harms the natural environment. Peru belongs to this group of countries. This region has a sea with diverse conditions such as temperature, salinity, color, etc., along its entire length. This makes it the ideal habitat for a great variety of marine species, in addition to the fact that the oceanic mesas maintain the balance of terrestrial ecosystems and our cities. They are also great suppliers of daily food. Just as life originated in them, our destiny is intimately linked to their health and normal functioning. Unfortunately, the sea is currently a collection point for tons of construction and demolition waste. This causes great damage to the marine fauna near the coast and denatures the erosion patterns on the beaches, which causes a strong ecosystemic impact, such as the progressive destruction of reefs that are home to fish, mollusks, shellfish, and more. Currently, it is estimated that more than 13,000 tons of waste are discarded into the sea and river daily only in the metropolitan region of Lima for more than 10 years, of which crushed concrete makes up a large percentage. If we continue in this situation without any kind of protection to the coastal edge, great damage to the coastal structures of the city is warranted, as well as the extinction of thousands of species of marine fauna that reside in them, many that are still being studied or undiscovered. In addition, the destruction of this sea means the loss of much knowledge about fishing and coexistence of different ancestral cultures that inhabited this coast. Likewise, the degeneration of the condition of the Peruvian Sea will have repercussions in different areas of the Pacific Ocean, since this sea is a meeting point of different currents that sail from north to south of this great body of water. Due to the aforementioned problems in previous years, given the large amount of concrete that was a product of the dismounts, this material was used to create artificial reefs by throwing these elements into areas of the sea with the objective that this serves as a shelter for marine fauna. Thus, people began to use recycled materials to create reefs, and over the years, many concrete and steel structures were poured into the sea. However, these constructive methods brought with it some consequences, such as inclusion of pollutions into the sea as oxides, since by not having a proper control, the concrete pieces can release toxic or other harmful materials. In that sense, the proposal made by the ACI PUC is to elaborate concrete structures with recycled aggregate in the form of hollow concrete blocks, coming from recycled concrete that comply with the following characteristics. Recycled aggregate that must be free of any contamination that adversely affects the quality of the conglomerate that cause alkaline aggregate reactions, since they generate an expensive effect causing cracks that lead to the deterioration of the structure and the loss of its useful life.
Portland cement type 5 so that the concrete produced resists the aggression on the surface dissolved in seawater according to the ACTM recommendation.
Fine recycled aggregate and water. Finally, for the design of hollow concrete blocks, the following should be taken into account: minimum depth at which the structure is located, calculation wave height, and water drag force. In closing, it's important to mention that artificial reefs create unique landscape for marine life in areas of the ocean that would otherwise be empty and offer little or no protection. Made of concrete structures with construction to breed artificial reefs save ecosystems that otherwise could not thrive. At the same time, recycled concrete is given a new utility.